Sequence first here. Sequence is just an order of numbers. Numbers put in an order. Okay. They do not have to have a pattern. Okay. They do not have to have a pattern. Could they? Sure. Yeah, they could have a pattern. 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. All right. There's two types of sequences. Finite. That means it ends. That's it. It doesn't go on forever. It ends. So I got 1, 5, 9, 13. Done. All right. That's a finite sequence versus infinite. It goes on forever. Pattern, no pattern. All right. Am I concerned with that? No, I'm not. Here's what I'm concerned with. Take a look at my first sequence. 2, 11, 20, 29, 38, and so on and so on. All right. What's the first term in that sequence? What's the first term? 2. What's the second term? 11. I'm glad you can identify it. I now need you to write it appropriately. All right. So if you go down below, it says, what's the fourth term? What are you going to tell me? 21, but I'm not 21. 29. All right, but I'm just not going to write 29. Here's how I signify what the fourth term is. All right. We use an A with a subscript. Where's subscript go from science classes? Bottom. So A, if I'm looking for the fourth term, I'm going to put a 4 down below for the subscript. So A4 would equal, what's our fourth term again? 29. With you guys writing that, you're telling me that the fourth term equals 29. Seventh term. Ooh, that's not listed, is it? Okay, but how do I write what the seventh term? A with a subscript of 7 down below. This does have a pattern. Can you and your group figure it out and find me what the seventh term would be? Because I only gave you the first 5. Can you find what the pattern is? Because that's a big part of today, finding the pattern. What are you guys finding? What's the seventh term here? 56. What's the pattern? Add 9 every time. Yep, add 9 every time. So we're okay on how to write a certain term now in a sequence. I put the A with the subscript of the term I'm trying to find. Questions there? Okay, let's do this a couple times. Do you guys, I did. So you guys, do you have room right now, all right, to add a column on the left-hand side for me? Add a column on the left-hand side. And I want this column to be labeled term before. Okay. Ready to go. I'm on the, what's this one telling me? I'm on what term right now? Fourth term. What's the next term then? Fifth. And how do I write it? A with the subscript of 5. What would be the term before it? If I'm on the fourth, what's the term before it? 83. Yep. Third term. Ooh, all right. Here we go now. Because this is where I'm going to be today. If I have an N there, any term, any random term, how do you think you could write the term after it? Anna? N plus 1, right. What are you doing from 4 to 5, guys? You're just adding 1. So that's all I'm doing here. A subscript N plus 1. So what would be the term before it then? N minus 1. Yep. All right, let's see how fancy we can get. What if I'm on N plus 1 as the given term? What's the next term then? N plus 2. Ooh, here you go. Get big, get big. What's the term before then? Okay, nice. A subscript N. You guys are picking this up well. I can't even read that. And that next one, N plus 4. What's the next one? N plus 5 would be the next term. meaning the previous term would be n plus 3. Okay, we okay identifying before and after now. Now, a second way I could do this is not involve the a's at all. All right, I could do it in the old function notation. Some of you maybe remember from last year. So f of 6, what does that mean? Guess what term I'm on? It's the 6th term. It's a different way of writing a subscript 6. It's a different way. Get used to it. So what would be the next term then if I'm writing it this way? F of 7, the 7th term. Term before it? F of 5. So instead of using the a's, I could use the function notation. All right, keep going. F of n, next term would be f of n plus 1. And what about the term before that then? F of n minus 1. And then go ahead, finish it off. If I have f of n plus 1, what's the next term? F of n plus 2. And how about the previous term? Just n. Okay, because we're going to see all this different notation here in a second. All right, next one here. Everyone see the sequence I give you. 1, 7, 13, and so on all the way up to 43. Now I'll really test if you understand these symbols or not. Find what a subscript 2 plus a subscript 6 is equal to. When I add those terms together, what do I end up with? So what is a subscript 2 here? Here we go. Let's go 6. I had 6 here. A2. What's in place of A2 in that sequence? 7. Boom. So I'm going to plug in 7 plus, keep it going. What's in for 6? 31. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 7 plus 31, and that'll give me 38. Okay. Are we identifying where these terms are coming from? All right, let's go. One doesn't make you great. A4 plus 2 times A6. What are you going to plug in here? What do we want to plug in? Here you go, 19. What do we want to plug in? A4? Perfect. 12. 19 plus 2 times, what's my 6th term? 31. Okay. Everyone all right where we're getting this from? And then what's that become, 81? Just check my math. Okay, what about an plus an minus 3 when n equals 7 now? N equals 7. What do you want to plug in for a sub n then if n equals 7? What do you got for me? 5. What do you got for me? Not here. Perfect. Good talking to you. 14. What do you got for me? An in this case if n equals 7. 7? What's A7 represent? That's the 7th term, right? So if you count over the 7th term, 37. Everyone all right? Why I'm putting 37 in? That's the 7th term when I plugged in 7. Plus, now do the 7 minus 3 term. What are we looking at now? 12? 19. 37 and 19, also known as 56. How do we feel there? Because I'm going to throw you for a little loop now. Ready to go? Okay. Okay. I'm going to skip all this part here. All right. I'm going to skip all this part here. All right. We've already written this down. All right. I'm going to skip all this part. Look at I'm going to go right to example 1. Everyone see the sequence I've given you, 10, 15, 20. Can somebody find what f of 6 is before I begin my new talk here? F of 6. F of 6. Remember, this is the different way I can write the notation instead of using the capital A. 17, what's f of 6? 35, 6th term. All right, here we go. Focus in now. Now I'm asked to write a recursive formula for this sequence. Here's what a recursive formula is, guys. It comes in 2 parts. Two parts. The first part is you got to tell me what the first term is. What's the first term? 10. And there's two different ways you can write the first term. There's A with the 1, and then there's also F of 1. What do we prefer here? Do we like the A's or the function notation? The A? Okay, you got it. So the first part of every recursive formula is you got to tell me what the first term is, and what is the first term? 10. Next is you have to tell me what are you doing to the previous term to get to the next term. That's what you have to figure out for every recursive formula. What are you doing to the previous term to get to the next one? What am I doing in this sequence in particular? What am I doing in the previous term to get to the next term? Adding 5. Everyone agrees I'm adding 5. Now, how do I write that, though? All right, how do I write this with all this fancy notation? All right, I am going to go back to the whole table I had you guys fill out. All right, and I'm going to write any given term, an. That's my given term. All right, an. My given term is going to be found by taking the previous term. How do you, if an is the term I'm on, if you look back, if you want to go back and cheat, go ahead and look. How do you write the previous term? If an is the term I'm on, how do you write the previous term? N minus 1. So a, n minus 1. And again, remind me what the pattern is again. What am I doing to the previous term? I'm adding 5. That is a recursive formula. Two parts. First term, tell me what it is, and then tell me what you're doing to find any term. What am I doing to the previous term? Let me challenge you right now. Let me challenge you. Ready? Because notice what I said. Answers can vary. Let me challenge you right now. A1 equals 10. Ready? That's the term I'm on. That's my given term, n plus 1. How do you write the previous one now? If I'm on n plus 1, what was my previous one? Look back if you have to. That's fine. No shame in that. We're going to learn it that way. What must have been my previous term then? A n plus 5. That's another way I can write this recursively just using different notation. Okay? Just as long as you guys realize that's my term I'm on, that's the previous. That's the term I'm on, that's my previous term. Okay? That's all I'm asking for here. All right, one doesn't make you great. Go to the next one. You guys should be able to do this on your own. New sequence, find A2 plus 3 times A4 using that sequence I just gave you. Okay, let me go around here. Here we go. 10. What is A2? Good response. 4. What is A2? 6 plus 3 times what's A4? What is it? 24, yep. And you guys check me here if I did my math correctly. That'll be 78. All good? Okay, can you write a recursive formula for that sequence? Remember, two parts if I ask for a recursive formula. What's the first part, the easiest part? Declan? First term in the sequence. Do you still want to do A's or can we change over to F's? You do F's? Challenge ourselves on a Friday? Darn right, like it. So how do I write the first term using F? F of, oh, no, not F of 3 would be the third term. F of 1, the first term, is equal to what? 3. Got it. So first term is 3. Now you guys have what do you want your given term to be? You want it to be n plus 1, n minus 1? I don't know. You pick. F of n, okay. So n is my given term. How do you write the previous term then? F of n minus 1, right? Okay, look at here, look up here. What am I doing to my previous term to get to the next one? You got to figure out that pattern. I can't give that to you. Multiply by 2. So all I simply have to do, you can do that. That's fine. I like doing this, and you'll probably see this more often. Just put a little 2 out in front. Put a 2 out in front. Okay? 2 times the previous term. All right? How are we feeling about a recursive formula? Need 2 parts. Again, first term and what you're doing to the previous term. All right, here's where we're going to be today. I'll give you the recursive. You give me a couple terms in the sequence now. We're going reverse. I'll give you the formulas. You give me the sequence. All right, does everybody see my recursive formula that I've given you up here? We see it? I'm not going to say much about it. It comes in 2 parts, right? Same thing we've just talked about, comes in 2 parts. Can you guys generate the first 5 terms of this sequence? The first 5 terms given that recursive formula. Well, the first one's easy. I gave it to you. What is it? What's the first term of the sequence? -2. So f of 1 equals -2. Okay, let's discuss as a class now. How do I find the second term of this sequence? Now my attention goes right here. Any term can be found by doing what? Any term can be found by taking the, what's this represent? If that's my given term, what's this represent? That's my previous term right there, guys. Previous term. And what do you do to the previous term? Multiply, add, subtract, divide. Add 5 to it. Stop me now here, guys, because this is only going to get more difficult as we go along in the examples. If that's my given term, I know automatically n minus 1 must be my previous term. So take your previous term and add 5. What's my second term in this sequence? Here you go. 2. What's my second term in the sequence? 3. How'd you get it? -2. And you don't need to show this. Plus 5 equals 3. And then once you get the pattern, you're on a roll now. You're gone. You're on a roll. How do I find the third term now? What are you doing to find the third term? Here you go. 1. What am I doing to find the third term? To what? The previous term. I don't go back to the original. Go back to the previous term. 3 plus 5. So the next term in this sequence is 8. We got to generate how many? 5? Whew, I'm going to run out of room. F of 4. What's the fourth term here? 12. What's the fourth term? What is it? 13. And then finally generate the fifth term, which would be, what do you got for me, 10? Ah, cripe. 15? 18. Any questions there? Please ask away. What am I asking for in part B? What am I asking for when I say f of 20? What's the 20th term? Not plug in 20. Don't plug in 20. What's the 20th term? All right, so can we go through this pretty quickly now? So if that, I'm just going to list them. Here you go. 18, 23. You guys can keep going for me. Actually, why am I doing this? Go ahead. Find the 20th term. You guys know what the pattern is now. Find the 20th term. And I got some people listing them out. I got some people just pressing the calculator. Fine, fine. Love it. Anybody got it? Getting it right now? Hopefully in the 90s. What do we got? 90, 93? No, yes, some of you may be off by 1 or 2. Monday, I'll show you a quicker way to get it than just plus 5, plus 5, plus 5, plus 5. There's a lot quicker way. I'll show you on Monday. Anything here? Anything? Okay. Let's see how well you know this stuff now. Look at 4. Find the first 4 terms of this sequence. It's how do I know it's recursive? It comes in 2 parts. Gives me the first term, gives me the rule. All right, what's the first term? 5. All right, you just got to find 3 more for me. So 5. Okay, how do you find next terms here? Well, ready? Look at what I gave you now. N plus 1 is the given term. Go back and look at that chart we spent all that time on at the beginning of class. If N plus 1 is the current term I'm on, what does AN represent? Oh, no. This is the given term. Whatever I start here with, in this case, N plus 1, that's my given term. What's N represent then? That's the previous term. Are you guys starting to see that I'm always probably going to give you the previous term in here? All right, previous term. This is also the previous term. What am I doing to the previous term? Explain to me what that says. Do what to the previous term? Multiply it by 2 and add 7. Here we go. Tell me specific directions on how to find the second term if I knew the first term was 5. What do you want to do to the 5 right now? Here you go. 15 again. What do you want to do to the 5? Multiply it by 2 and add 7. $17. Third term. Fourth term. Got the third term for me. 19 got the third term for me. Not here. 4 got the third term for me. 26. How'd you get 26? Two times 17 is already 34. Right? $41, yep. And then how about my fourth term here? Fourth term, 10. How about my fourth term? Not getting that one. 4? 89. Should have just stuck with the AJ, right? 89. Thanks.
First game I'm missing in 15 years. Really? Trying to teach really important things here.
Yeah, tell them thanks. This is sequences and series going on here. Yeah. Yeah.
Is it math with letters?
We got some N's and A's. All right.
This whole way, I can't understand anything this whole way.
Yeah. Never mind. I was going to say similar to some of you guys. Too harsh. Sorry. Getting the roaster fired up. All right. Questions right now, because this it's not the last one, but this is where they're the most difficult. Find the first 3 terms now. All right. What's my first term? -2. So I know my first term's -2. Okay. If n plus 1 is my given term, what's an then? Okay, previous. So I'm going to take 5 times my previous. Ooh. And then look what I threw at you there. Plus 2 times n. All right, and I'm going to show you what that n means as we could do these right now. All right, so here we go. Second term. How do I start off by finding the second term? multiply by 5. Take the previous term, multiply it by 5. What was my previous term here, guys? My previous term was negative 2. 5 times the previous term. Now, plus 2 times something. Now, let's talk about what that something is right now. Ready? Doesn't that n, these two n's mean the same exact thing? Okay? This was my previous, stay with me here. I'm going to try to go as slow and clear as possible here. This was my previous term, correct? And if I'm finding the second term, what was my previous term? No. Just negative 2 is my first term. Okay? I'm on the second term right now. All right? What did I just plug in for a sub n right now? What did I just plug in for that? 5 times what in this case? Negative 2. And what term was that? That was the first term. So basically, I just did 5 times the first term. Everyone agree? Okay, that's why you plugged in negative 2, because that was the first term. But what's just in place of the n right now? What's in place of just the n right now? A 1. And that matches that n. Okay, let me do this all over again. All right. Let me write this out a little bigger. Ready? What term are we looking for right now? We're looking for the second term right now, right? Meaning this represents the previous term, which would be the first term. Everyone agrees? What did I just plug in for n? What did I just plug in for n? 1, correct? And that matches that n right there. Okay, so I'm going to be plugging in 1. Okay, and let's see how it works on the third one. So go ahead, find the second term now. I know this will be as confusing as it will get right today, is when they add that n by itself. So what's your second term? Negative 8, okay. Breathe. Do not get frustrated. Do not give up either. All right? Do not give up. All right? If you plan on giving up, like I said first day, see ya. Next now, third term. I still got to do 5. Now not times negative 2, but negative 8 plus, okay, now it says plus 2n, right? What term was negative 8? Second term. So what would have been my n value here? 2. So I'm going to go 2 times 2. And that'll end up being negative 40 plus 4, negative 36. Are we okay? You all right, Declan? Okay, we're going to get more of these, so this won't be the only one, trust me. Okay. Here's one that showed up on the Regents a couple years ago. This last one. Find the first 5 terms. Okay, what's the first term? First term? 4, yep. Okay. Help me out by reading this. Help me out. To find any given term, ready? To find any given term, take the, what's this one? If an is my given one, this one would be my are we all in agreement? That would be the previous term, right? And add 4 times, what would n, if n minus 1 is my previous one, what do you think n minus 2 means? The one before the previous, right? Or 2 terms ago. Oh, they give me A2. Don't anybody going to? They give me A2. Nobody's going to fill me in there. 3x. They give me the second term. All right, you guys ready? Third term. Follow the rule. What's it say? Take the previous term. I'm on the third term here. Somebody tell me what the previous one was. 3x. Okay, so I'm going to take 3x plus 4 times the term before the previous one. Look at what we have listed here. What should I be multiplying this 4 by right now? I should be multiplying it by 4 because it's the term before the previous one. So that's where I am at right now. Stop, ask questions now. Previous, term before the previous. 3x plus 16, can you combine those? So we're going to leave it 3x plus 16. Now we're on the fourth term. All right, here you go. Now I'm going to open it up. Here we go, 7. So previous term is the one we just found. 3x plus 16. I'm done with you. Plus 4 times, what should I put in there for the term before the previous one? Here you go, 2. 3x. Nice job. Nice job. Go ahead, multiply, combine your like terms. I'll get back to somebody in a second. Combine your like terms. When you're ready, let me know. Here you go, 6. 15x plus. Got it. Got it. I hear it. I hear it. Trouble, calm it down. And then fifth term. I'm not even going to write anything. Tell me what you got to do to produce the fifth term now. 2. Previous term, 15x plus 16 plus times, what do I multiply it by now? The term before the previous, 3x plus 16. Guys are good. And then let me know when you're ready here. Distribute, combine all your like terms that you can. You ready here? Here you go. 12, ready?
27x plus 80.
Nice. There are your first 5 terms. Questions? Okay, I'd appreciate it today if you worked right up into the bell. All right, so just flip it right over. Got the next 2 pages, exactly what we just worked on. Call me over, especially you guys when you get to number 3 and 4 if you're having issues, what to plug in, all right? You guys know the answers are all up on that aspect. All right, this is Brady.